How has it been being a Ukrainian in England, but having obviously family back home in Ukraine? How has the last few weeks been for you on a personal level?
Yes, my parents live in western part of Ukraine, in city Lviv, which is located about 1,000 miles from the border with Russian Federation. It seems quite a long distance from the zone of conflict, but in the contemporary warfare, this distance is not a guarantee of the of safety. So my parents are worried about the whole situation, and I'm worried for them. I'm worried for my relatives. I'm worried for my native country.
Do you have much contact with your family back home? Have you been in contact with them a lot?
Yes, I phone my parents every week regularly. Yes, and they are getting more and more worried about what is going on. People in every region of Ukraine organize themselves in so-called squads of regional defense, so that daily they have their jobs, they live regular lives, but in the case of full-scale intrusion of Russian troops, they will be ready to respond, to defend their own cities, their own territories. So there will be very hard war going on at the heart of Europe.
Are you satisfied with the UK's decision to impose sanctions on Russia, or were you expecting a different response, a more severe, harsher response?
In general, I think UK is one of the countries which is responding in a very decisive way. I receive many messages of support from my colleagues at work, from different communities in Liverpool, from Roman Catholic Church. And so many people are expressing their sympathy with Ukraine and their support. I am very grateful, and Ukraine is very grateful for all the help that the UK provides. But I think all of the countries, all of the Western countries have to get together nowadays in order to respond to this threat coming from Russian Federation, because we need to remember the history lessons. There are too many parallels with what was going on before the Second World War with Hitler, with Nazi Germany. The same tactics Nazi Germany used in order to invade Czechoslovakia and Poland later on. So there are all these parallels which we need to remember and need to respond today quickly and decisively in order to prevent all the tragedy which can happen. So today we need to learn from history and to act quickly, decisively over against this aggression against Ukraine, because this is not aggression against Ukraine only. This is aggression against the whole civilized world. Ukraine today stands for the values of freedom, democracy, free speech, all these basic values our civilization is built upon.
How has the Ukrainian community in Liverpool came together since the tensions have rose? Do you feel closer? Are you communicating with other Ukrainians?
Yes, sure. Actually, I serve a community in Liverpool as a priest, a Ukrainian Catholic community. We celebrate church services at Roman Catholic Church, St. Sebastian's Roman Catholic Church. There are actually just a few Ukrainian families who come regularly to these services, and we celebrate once a month. But since the escalation of the whole conflict, we were praying. I invited my faithful to join some online activities, some online prayers, but also we organized some 3 weeks ago, I think, a prayer service together with Roman Catholics, the White Brothers. And it turned out to be an ecumenical and interdenominational prayer service at the steps of Roman Catholic Cathedral of Liverpool. So in addition to Roman Catholics, some Anglicans, some other Christian denominations took part, but also Muslims. So we are not just watching what is going on. We try to pray for peace in Ukraine. My message is stay calm at the moment. Don't panic. Stay calm. Pray for peace in Ukraine, but also do whatever you can to support Ukrainians. And there are all these different actions through which Ukrainians living in the UK are able to support.
How is your faith? Obviously, you're a priest, you teach religion in Hope University, but how has your faith helped you during this time? Do you think it's been a key part in your positivity?
As people of faith, we believe and we know that each person has God-given dignity, and it's devil's work to deny this dignity. Devil in Greek is diabolos, the one who divides, the one who leads to destruction, to death. And this is what Putin does in Ukraine today. He can divide, he can destroy, but I assure you that he will never be able to defeat Ukrainians, because Ukrainians know what they are fighting for. They are fighting for their own freedom. They are fighting on their own territory, for their own country, for their own God-given dignity, for the values that our civilization is built upon. And because of that, I think this is the responsibility of all the civilized world to support Ukraine in this fight.